Today's video is a little different from what I usually cover on this channel. I'm a military sci-fi reader first and foremost, but every now and then I dip into fantasy, and when I do, I look for the same things I love in my sci-fi. Grounded world building, believable tactics, disciplined soldiers, and stories shaped by the realities of war. So in this episode, I'm highlighting 5 military fantasy novels that stood out to me, even as someone outside the genre. Let's light it up. Sheep Farmer's Daughter by Elizabeth Moon. I picked this one up because I knew Moon from her military sci-fi, but I was surprised to learn this was actually her debut novel. And honestly, you can feel her Marine experience all over it. The training, the marching, the discipline, the way the mercenary company actually functions like a real unit. The story follows Paxenarian, Pax, who runs away from an unwanted marriage and joins a mercenary company looking for a soldier's life. What makes this book stand out is how grounded it is. No destined hero, no chosen one prophecy, just the day-to-day grind of becoming a soldier. The fatigue, the camaraderie, the hard-earned growth. The world feels lived in. The military detail is authentic, and Pax is a tough, likable protagonist. The sequels never hit quite as hard for me, but this first book is absolutely worth reading. Next up is Steiger's Tigers by Mark Allen Edelheit, another author I originally found through his military sci-fi. His trademark focus on soldiers, command structure, and battlefield mindset carries straight into this military fantasy series, and it's clear why this is considered his flagship work. The setup is straightforward but really effective. Captain Ben Steiger, a seasoned and honorable officer, is reassigned from an elite unit to a struggling Southern Legion that's undisciplined, underfed, and falling apart. The story follows his effort to rebuild them alongside an Elven Ranger lieutenant and a paladin on a holy mission. What hooked me is the Roman-inspired military flavor, formations, logistics, supply issues, discipline, all blended with a restrained touch of fantasy that grows as the book goes on. It's gritty, grounded military storytelling with just enough magic to spice the world. And yes, I definitely plan to continue the series. For my third pick, I'm going with The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. It draws heavily from 20th century Chinese history and quickly becomes a brutal, emotionally heavy look at war, nationalism, trauma, and power. We follow Rin, a war orphan, who tests into an elite military academy. The early chapters feel familiar, but once real war hits, the tone shifts hard. What really stands out is how Kuang balances Rin's personal spiral with the wider military conflict. Rin is angry, flawed, and often self-destructive, and the magic system, tied to gods, addiction, and psychological strain, feels genuinely dangerous. As military fantasy, it confronts the horrors of war with absolute bluntness. I'm glad I read it and respect the craft, but the first book is such a complete, heavy experience that I don't feel the need to continue the series. Book 4 is Bodyguard of Lightning by Stan Nichols, the first in the Orcs' First Blood trilogy. And I picked it up for one reason. It's military fantasy told entirely from the Orcs' point of view. They're not mindless monsters here. They're a disciplined professional warband, basically a special forces squad, think Uruk-hai, that's been used as blunt instruments by a manipulative command structure. The story kicks off when Strike and his unit finally go rogue, breaking from their toxic leadership. From that point on, it's a gritty, behind enemy lines mission, where everyone is after them. The focus isn't on deep lore or sprawling world building, it's on unit cohesion, tactical skirmishes, and the logistics of surviving when the entire world is hostile. The action is non-stop and brutally straightforward. If you've ever wanted a ground-level, grunt-sci look at the monsters of fantasy, this series delivers. I tore through all 3 books almost back-to-back. And for the final pick, we've got K.J. Parker's 16 Ways to Defend a Walled City, a masterclass in military logistics and asymmetric warfare. I picked this one up on a recommendation from my friend Paul over at Geeks Love Dogs, link in the description. The story follows Orhan, a colonel of engineers, not a warrior, who suddenly becomes the highest-ranking officer left when a mysterious enemy wipes out the Empire's military leadership and besieges the capital. What follows is a darkly funny, razor-sharp account of pure improvisation. With no army, no supplies, and a city full of people who don't respect him, Orhan has to rely on psychology, deception, and engineering tricks to keep the walls standing. It's the ultimate use whatever you've got scenario. Instead of a noble hero, we get a cynical, brilliant problem solver navigating bureaucracy and chaos. I loved this one and the next 2 books in the series, How to Rule an Empire and Get Away with It, and A Practical Guide to Conquering the World, shot straight onto my TBR. So there you have it. That wraps up my 5 military fantasy recommendations. I hope this list helps you find a great read or two. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, subscribe for more military sci-fi content, and let me know in the comments which military fantasy books you think I should check out next. And no, I still haven't read The Black Company. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Burn bright and burn enough.